Yo, what up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Will. This is our brand new show that is simply titled What's the Word? It's episode 2, and this is the pop culture kind of news roundup of the week. Sometimes we'll do like reactions to trailers and things like that. Wasn't able to do one for Sonic because I couldn't get my hands on the video for some odd reason. But I did do a reaction to the Terrifier 3 trailer that dropped this week, where we got some other news and castings that dropped. So it's just some of the big news topics throughout the week we don't get to in its own singular video and things like that. Just trying a new format, trying this out, seeing how it goes, and doing something a little different here for the channel. So, yeah. And as you guys see, the main topic is going to be the Terrifier 3 trailer breakdown. Because after watching it back a few times and seeing some things on the social medias, I was able to pick up a few more details and some nice hints at what might be to come in Terrifier 3. So, we're going to kind of do that as the main topic and then get into these other big news topics. There's a few trailers to get into, things of that nature. So, let's get into the first topic of today, whenever the hell you're watching this thing. But let's get into the first topic that dropped over this past week, and that is Jurassic World Rebirth. So there has been an announced fourth Jurassic World film that they announced earlier this year, I believe. We're going to have Gareth Edwards, who directed Rogue One, supposedly, and directed Godzilla 10 years ago, and also did that movie The Creator from last year, the sci-fi AI movie with Denzel Washington's son starring in it, if I remember correctly. But this is that fourth installment of the Jurassic World franchise. I'm a big fan of the franchise to an extent, but also it's really let me down in recent years. But just breaking down the big uh, details of this right here, it's going to be coming out next July, if I'm not mistaken, July of 2025. And David Koepp, who was the original writer of the OG Jurassic Park movie, who adapted it from the book, of course, by Michael Crichton, he's coming back came back and wrote the script. Gareth Edwards is directing. So yeah, so we got that going down. Scarlett Johansson is going to be starring in this thing, so we got some images there. Don't really give us much about the plot or anything like that. And then you got Mahershala Ali, who supposedly was supposed to be playing Blade in the MCU, but that doesn't look like it's ever going to happen. So we also got that going down. I forget the name of the third actor right there next to ScarJo. But let me pull up the whatchamacallit, the synopsis for this thing, because I had some issues with it, but I'm going to read it out to you guys first, and then we'll kind of get into my thoughts on it. Because overall, oops, didn't mean to put that in there. Overall, with the franchise right now, I've been hugely disappointed. I didn't even watch the last film, Jurassic World Dominion. Even though the original cast came back, to me, it seemed like they were trying to play into the legacy sequel thing, which really doesn't make sense for any of these characters to really return to the franchise in this fashion in any way, in my opinion, because they've either been featured several times and really would not have any interest in coming back and dealing with dinosaurs, or they living a whole different type of lifestyle and didn't even come back for the previous films. So it just felt like a lot of nostalgia bait that didn't necessarily feel earned in a certain sense, at least in my personal opinion. I hated the second Jurassic World. Thought the first one was at least pretty fun, but definitely thought it was lacking compared to obviously the original. I think Jurassic Park 2 is a little bit hated on than it's actually deserving of. I don't think it's not as good as the first film, but I think it's a much more solid sequel compared to the rest of the franchise. In my personal opinion, I even like it more than Jurassic World or any of those. I like it more than Jurassic Park 3. To me, it goes Jurassic Park 2, then Jurassic World, then I'd go Jurassic Park 3 because at least I have nostalgia going to see it in the theater as a kid, and there's fun sequences, finally paying off a lot of the pterodactyl action, which was really cool. I like the new hybrid T-Rex, or the new type of T-Rex and all that. T-Rex versus T-Rex, all that good jazz was fun. And then Jurassic World 2 is at the bottom because that movie sucks. Oop, hope I'm not having audio issues. All right, I think I'm good. So here is the synopsis, since I finally got this thing pulled up. Let me see here. Where is that goddamn synopsis? Let me see. Where the fuck is it? Here we go. Check, check, check. Yo. All right. All right, here we go. Finally got that goddamn synopsis. So here it is. 5 years after the events of Jurassic World Dominion, the planet's ecology is proven largely inhospitable to dinosaurs. Those remaining exist in isolated equatorial environments with climates resembling the one in which they once thrived. The three most colossal creatures within that tropical biosphere hold the key to a drug that will bring miraculous life-saving benefits to humankind. So here's the thing. Why can't we just have Jurassic Park, Jurassic World? Why can't we just have fucking dinosaurs all over the world? Why can't they just do that? They always have to do this complicated ass shit where they're in equatorial environments and shit, where they used to just be on islands before in the second movie and shit, or they were on islands before in the second. It's like, why can't we just leave them on the islands? I don't know why they create these fucking biospheres or whatever the fuck. To me, that sounds dumb. Maybe I'm just being harsh. And then a fucking drug that will bring miraculous life-saving benefits to humankind. Like, that's so anti-Jurassic Park, man. That's not. We don't go to these things for humans to discover the benefits of humankind. We go for dinosaur action, man. I don't know why they always have to overcomplicate these plots, yo. Like, I don't know. This to me just doesn't read as a fun synopsis for a Jurassic Park, Jurassic World type film. This to me reads like they're doing the same shit as before. They're just making it a little bit more simpler than the second film, bringing in some new actors and getting away from the other characters that nobody gave a shit about. This doesn't feel like the reboot this franchise needs to me. This just feels like a lot of the same old shit, been there, done that. But that's just my opinion. And like I always say, I always go into things with an open mind and wait until at least I see some footage, a trailer, and then see the movie. Then I'll make up my mind if it actually is good, and at least wait for the trailer to see if it looks good. But I'm not going to judge it too much prematurely. But to me, this sounds really stoops. But y'all let me know what you think about Jurassic World Rebirth. What do you think about the title? Do you think that this can actually be a great Jurassic World sequel? Do you like all the Jurassic movies and you don't necessarily have issues with the franchise? Or are you more like me and more of a kind of a traditional, almost like purist kind of fan and just prefer that original film and the approach that they took to that with creating a simple but thrilling story with good characters, not idiots doing shit and going out of their way to fuck with dinosaurs like all the rest of this fucking franchise. So you let me know where you guys fall on that. But for me personally, Jurassic World Rebirth sounds like a big fucking thumbs down in my personal opinion. So the next topic here is Vision Quest. We got a new series coming with Paul Bettany's division, and apparently it's going to be titled Vision Quest, and it's going to be kind of like an inverse of WandaVision. Supposedly it's going to enter into production by next year, so maybe it'll come out 2026. I'm not entirely sure. Obviously, it's going to be on Disney Plus, but the big reveal that came up with this show actually being back in the works, because it was rumored back in 2021, 2022. So it has been a while since we heard an update, but this is one of the biggest updates, if not the biggest update we've heard about it in general. Also, with a little bit of a caveat of a rumor that could really make this thing hella interesting. But as you see on the screen there, Ultron from Age of Ultron, James Spader's Age of Ultron version of Ultron. So many Ultrons in that sentence right there. Take a drink every time we say Ultron. Is going to be returning in the role. James Spader also has not been in any other production or any film or TV series since Age of Ultron and something called Black Hat, I believe. So he's definitely been chilling just as long as the character's been chilling. And that villain never felt like a true one and done type thing to me. That felt like a very big missed opportunity. So I'm happy to see him back in this thing, but he's coming back to play some sort of role in this. And you would obviously think he's going to be the antagonist. But there's also rumors that Elizabeth Olsen can come back to play an alternate version of Wanda, if you will, from the Vision comic written by Tom King that came out just a few years ago, if I'm not mistaken. And a lot of comic fans have touted that as one of their favorite stories and graphic novels of all time. They say it's goated at this point. So for me, I definitely got to dive into that miniseries sooner rather than later. And there's some really dark elements to that I won't spoil for those that maybe don't want any spoiler details or any indication of where they can take things. But Elizabeth Olsen could return as a Scarlet Witch type character that isn't necessarily Scarlet Witch, but something that the Vision creates, a la the way she revived him in her chaos magic, in her chaos realm in WandaVision. So a kind of an inversion of that, because Vision also creates his own children. Won't go any deeper than that, but that's kind of the premise of the comic that they're rumored to be adapting for this Vision Quest series. We also have the big lingering question of White Vision that's been up in the air for quite some time now. So it will be interesting to see how they're going to tie up these loose ends and really bring this together and make this feel like it's an essential part of the multiverse saga, building the Secret Wars and really setting up something that's important for Phase 6. Now, we all know the MCU's had its ups and downs. We've had some highs, some lows, some in betweens, and some differing opinions and things all over the map between Miss Marvel, Multiverse of Madness, No Way Home, which is generally universally liked, but there's some hipsters out there that want to act like it's not the greatness. A lot of people loving Deadpool and Wolverine right now. So we're definitely on a high. X-Men 97 was one of the best seasons of television, in my personal opinion, in my lifetime for what I've watched. And a lot of MCU fans and Marvel fans and X-Men fans, nerds in general, feel the same way. So the MCU is definitely on an incline right now, and they're definitely kind of improving where they've been recently, and hopefully the batting average can continue through 2025 with Daredevil Born Again, Captain America Brave New World right around the corner. And then we got Thunderbolts Asterisk, Dark Avengers. And then we also got Fantastic Four, The First Steps, which is my most anticipated MCU film next year and my most anticipated thing outside of Secret Wars or Doomsday, because it still sounds cool having a Doom movie be the main thing of Avengers and getting to see that pay off, but hopefully work with RDJ. Fingers crossed. We all know it's crazy. But the MCU is definitely having some interesting things going on. They're definitely back in their bag for the most part, and it'll be interesting to see if they can keep this consistency until they get to things like this Vision Quest, and how important and how integral is this going to feel, because that's some of the problems that people have had with MCU series and shows as of late. A lot of people have the same problem with Agatha all along, which is the very next MCU project and the last MCU project coming out this year, other than maybe What If season 3, which is also the final season of that show. And I don't think that's necessarily going to blow up the internet and really get fans all in a frenzy. So the MCU might be on a little bit of a lukewarm end of the year, but I think overall won't be enough to affect them in the long term and really derail all the kind of course correction and momentum and consistency they're trying to build back into the franchise and get back on track. Not that it all sucks and not that they completely fell off a cliff DC style, you know what I'm saying, pre-James Gunn, because we don't really know the full effect of that yet. But you guys know what I'm saying. They're definitely on a decline, but they're doing better than Star Wars, in my opinion. They're definitely doing better than what DC was doing for the past decade leading up to like 2021, 2022. You know what I mean? So overall, the MCU future is bright. This series definitely sounds hella interesting. I'm just happy as an Ultron fan from the comics, getting to see him come back and hopefully have even a more integral role and have more of the philosophical questions and kind of themes that come along with the character and AI in general get to get really well played out. Hopefully the guy that was involved with WandaVision that is directing Fantastic Four is involved with this, because I think having his touch on that could really add some nice consistency with WandaVision and the overall tapestry of phases 2, 3, and 4, leading into the characters of Vision and Wanda proper and Ultron into this present series in phase 6, even though, or phase, we in phase 5? Phase 5, I think. I'm confused at this point. I don't even know anymore. I just try to keep up and watch this shit. But either way, phase 5, phase 6, whatever phase we're in, leading up to this point. So I'm going to be hella interested to see where they go with this. Not my most anticipated, not super excited, but I am interested and intrigued. And depending on what the execution and story of this show is going to be, could climb up the list and could be something really cool. So we'll wait and see. But y'all let me know what you think about this Vision Quest show. Do you care about Ultron coming back? Could you care less? Do you want to see Elizabeth Olsen come back to the role of Wanda Maximoff, aka Scarlet Witch, in some capacity or form, even if it's an alternate version? Do you like the WandaVision version and kind of reference, or do you think that's all for naught and they should just focus on the main Doom and Secret War stuff so we can get to the Mutant Saga faster and sooner rather than later? I'm kind of in between because I kind of feel both of those sides of the argument. But y'all let me know where you guys fall on it down below in those comments. But now it's time for us to get to the next subject, and not necessarily something highly anticipated, but something interesting I thought we can get into for all my anime fans and Lord of the Rings fans. We have a Lord of the Rings animated film coming out, an anime film from a Japanese studio, if I'm not mistaken. So this is true blue anime, not like Avatar, where we always get this stupid debate where is it really anime? But and I'm not gonna reveal where I fall on that. We're gonna wait till an Avatar video because I'm not gonna give away all the juiciness for the future dopeness of the channel. But Lord of the Rings, The War of Rohirrim, and I probably butchered that name, is coming out in December. I can't remember the exact date, but they did drop a trailer this past week on like Tuesday or Wednesday or something like that. And I gotta say, the visuals look stunning. It looks kind of interesting. Other than a couple shots in the trailer, though, it almost doesn't even seem like Lord of the Rings. It just seems like its own fantasy anime, which can be a plus, but if it doesn't feel consistent, can also be a negative. But I'm not a diehard Lord of the Rings fan. I just like them. It's a fantastic trilogy, one of the best trilogies ever made. The first Lord of the Rings trilogy from the 2000s, of course. Not one of my favorite trilogies, but on a filmmaking level, on an execution of adapting a story, it's great. And I do really enjoy the movies, and I have a much deeper appreciation for them now as an adult than I did as a kid growing up watching them, honestly, because I was right there from when they first came out. And I remember the beginning of Two Towers actually scared me as a kid. So I didn't come back to it until middle school or high school. And they were so long, I just didn't have the attention span or the patience to want to sit through them at the time. But I always thought certain elements were cool and the battles were really badass. But I just couldn't get through the trilogy again until I got into my 20s. And haven't watched the extended versions yet. Maybe I'll get around to it eventually. And then they also did that Rings of Power show on Amazon Prime, which I think is hella mid. And I haven't even checked out season 2, so don't expect that on the channel because I highly doubt I'm going to watch it. But yeah, I'm not a diehard fan of this world. I haven't even seen the Hobbit trilogy just because of all the bad press and all the bad word of mouth I hear. I just don't really feel like taking the time to invest 5-6 hours into watching those. But maybe I will someday. Maybe if y'all request it and really want that, let me know. But this trailer seems cool. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily something that's getting me hyped, but I am kind of more intrigued and get a little bit of a better sense of what they're going for this, because I thought an animated Lord of the Rings movie just kind of came out of nowhere anyway. So I thought that was very interesting the way that they're doing it. But maybe they're going to add in more Japanese lore. I don't know. Kind of like what they did with this Terminator series on Netflix. I already forgot the damn name of it. But I did watch a little bit of the first episode, and that seems interesting too. Maybe might be a review on the channel. Wait and see. We'll see what's up. Let me know if you want to see that Terminator anime review, potentially. We'll see. You know what I mean? Depending on how my schedule goes, because I do got other creative projects and endeavors I'm balancing with this right now. But yeah, man. So we'll see where it goes. But just thought I'd include this here on the show for all my Lord of the Rings diehards out there. Have you seen this trailer? Are you looking forward to this? I don't have a lot of context to add. I don't know a lot about the lore, but just figured this was just spreading the word and getting it out there for those that maybe missed it throughout the week. But yeah, I can take it or leave it. But y'all let me know where you fall with this War of the Rohirrim trailer. And I had to get my pronunciation right on that one. I had to do it. But we're also going to get into another trailer, y'all. Sonic 3, Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Shadow is coming into this thing. All you diehard Sonic fans out there, I grew up a Sonic fan as a kid. Don't remember all the lore and every single little detail, but I played Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. I played a lot of those games. You know what I'm saying? I watched a lot of the Sonic cartoons and things like that, like the Hedgehog adventures back in the day. A little bit of Sonic X, you know what I'm saying? So I'm familiar a little bit with the lore, and I enjoyed the second film. I actually went to the theaters to see it. I watched part of the first film and liked it, so I went and saw the second film. Need to go back and finally watch that first one. And if you guys are interested in a review series leading up for Sonic 3, let me know. If that's something you guys are interested in, my thoughts about Sonic 1 and 2. But I thoroughly enjoy them overall. Sonic 2 to me had no business being that good, and this has been one of the best video game adaptations ever. Not one of the best films ever or anything like that, but a great fun for the family adventure. Really dope adaptation of Sonic, and I really like what Ben Schwartz has been doing with the character. Ben Schwartzman, whatever the hell his name is, I can't remember, but I love what he's been doing with the character of Sonic. Keanu Reeves is coming up in here as Shadow, and it's going to be fun to see, how they pull this off and how they do it. It seems like he's going to be a pretty devastating threat in the thing. You got Jim Carrey coming back as Robotnik, of course, and now he's going to be playing the grandfather of Robotnik, so he's playing two different characters in this thing, so that's going to be a lot of fun, but a lot of really cool action sequences and kind of action shots in here. You got freaking Shadow doing the Akira motorcycle slide that everyone has to recreate in every fashion or form every time someone's riding a motorcycle for the past 30 years, 20 years, just because I guess Akira is that awesome. By the way, I haven't seen it, but no hate, just haven't seen it yet or read it. But yeah, man. So Sonic 3, you got a lot of fun to be had here. Really dig how Shadow's just coming up in here, fucking up motherfuckers. But I also like how it seems like they're being very faithful to his backstory and directly adapting that in the most seamless way they can with the previous stuff they've done in the first two films. And it seems like they're able to just marry the lore with this fun storytelling they've been doing in these films. And I think they've just been doing a phenomenal job with doing that, staying true to it for the hardcore fans, but also leaving some room to make some fun for the more general audiences out there that have no affinity for the Sonic lore, but have a familiarity with the character through him being one of the most iconic characters of all time and one of the first big mascots for any video game franchise or console with Sega. So there's a lot of history with Sonic. Multiple generations like him or enjoy him to some kind of casual capacity. So I think this movie's going to be huge. The only interesting thing about the box office with this thing or with the release date is it's coming out the same day as Mufasa. I think that's a huge gamble trying to go against a Disney juggernaut like Lion King, because the last one made a billy and most people talk shit on it as just a shot for shot remake with more realistic visual effects that also take some people out of the movie. So to have it be kind of controversial, but also be that damn profitable, I think might give Sonic 3 a bit of trouble, but maybe they can kind of capture a different audience with some of the older people taking their kids to see it. I don't know. It's going to be very interesting to see if they play this game of chicken all the way to the last day. And I can't remember the day of the actual release, but those are scheduled to come out the same day. So it would be interesting to see how people navigate seeing both of those if you really are hyped on both those movies. I don't really care about Mufasa personally. I'm gonna wait and see what the word of mouth says. If people are saying it's like kind of like a pleasant surprise, maybe I might go ahead and check it out. But otherwise, I'm kind of over these big Disney remakes in general. I'm not really a big fan of them. There's two they can do that I'd give a fuck about, and that's Treasure Planet and Atlantis. Maybe the Black Cauldron. Other than that, I can give a shit less about a freaking Disney remake. Maybe Emperor's New Groove, maybe. But other than that, I don't care. So I'm not really tripping on Mufasa. So I'm going to see Sonic 3 on the release day, hopefully, hopefully just opening weekend in general. But y'all let me know. What did you think about the Sonic 3 trailer? Did you think it was dope? Did you think it was okay? Do you like these Sonic movies? Do you prefer the games? Do you prefer the cartoons or the anime Sonic X? You let me know what you prefer when it comes to Sonic. But now it's time to get into some One Piece casting. We got Miss Wednesday and Cobra Nefertari cast in this thing for One Piece live action season 2. Charithra, Chandran, and Sendil Ramaruthri, who I'm sure I butchered their names, are going to be playing Miss Wednesday and Nefertari Cobra, respectfully, who are father and daughter for those that don't know the anime or the manga. I'll give you that light spoiler, but they're going to be playing a role in season 2, which are going to be covering just a few of the arcs in the kind of Alabasta saga, if you will. They're going to be covering, Little Garden and Whiskey Peak and all that stuff. They're going to be covering all those first few arcs when the Straw Hat Gang get into the Grand Line and all that stuff. Following up with the East Blue saga, they're going to be introducing Chopper, potentially introducing Robin as well. So it'll be interesting to see how they're going to navigate that without having Alabasta be a part of this and save that for potentially a separate season 3, which I think would be the way to go. But there's not a big villain for this arc either. So I don't know exactly how they're going to do the season 2 per se, between the Chopper and the villain stuff and everything like that. But I loved, or I would say I thoroughly enjoyed season 1. I did have some issues with it, but overall, I really enjoyed it. But the thing that I loved about it the most was the attention to detail, the Easter eggs and all that stuff, and the cast of characters playing the Straw Hats. I loved them. I really did. I thought everyone did a pretty damn good job to just absolute phenomenal when it came to nailing their character. The actor that played Luffy, the actress that played Nami, and the actor that played Sanji, I thought absolutely nailed their characters to a T. I thought the Usopp actor was pretty good and Zoro as well. I think they have some room to grow, but I still was overall co-signed their performance and I dug it. But those three that I named absolutely nailed it like none other. So getting to see them kind of be a lot of the central focus, other than maybe Zoro, kind of leading forward in this thing might be the way to go, just overall, because the actors being a little bit stronger performers than the other ones. But I'm really excited for season 2 and can't wait to see what they're going to do. I'm not familiar with these two actors I just named that are going to be playing Miss Wednesday, aka Vivi, and Cobra Nefertari, her father. I have no idea about their work. They're kind of up and comers, or just kind of not no names, but just not really big names in the industry or anything like that. Charithra, the girl playing Vivi, she's very much still building up her resume, and I think the other guy's been in some other things internationally, but isn't necessarily a big household name or anything here. So I like the casting in general, just being like unknown, so we can kind of just get into the actors and see if they can nail the roles like they did with the other casting. I think that was a smart choice to go in that direction as opposed to trying to get names for this stuff. They got Katie Seagal for, Dr. Korea and stuff like that. But overall, Korea, however you pronounce it correctly, I can't remember. But overall, I like how they're getting lower tier names. I think Damon Dalsmanchian is going to do Mr. 3. So they got some bigger names in here mixed with the no names, I think, to kind of balance things out so you can buy into the world and the characters and get into the vibe and get swept away in the story and not be trying to like, oh, I remember them. I think that's always the best way to go with these iconic characters from these different, franchises, whether it's manga, anime, video games, comic books, whatever. So I think that's always a good way to go about it. But y'all let me know, do you dig this casting for the One Piece live action season 2? Do you care less? Are you more of a fan of the manga, the anime, or the live action? You One Piece fans and fellow anime nerds, let me know where you fall on it. I love the I haven't read a lot of the manga, to be honest with you, but I love the One Piece anime. It's one of my all-time favorites, top 5 for me. And I really dug One Piece season 1, and I dig a lot of the movies as well. So I'm all in when it comes to the world of the Straw Hats, when it comes to the world of the One Piece. And hopefully they'll be able to land the plane with this one on season 2 for sure. But now it's time to get into my boy. Art the Clown, Terrifier 3. It is time for that trailer breakdown, y'all. So let me get that trailer pulled up here so we can dive into this frame by frame and get into all this craziness that is Terrifier 3. Hold on. Let me make sure to turn the volume down. So here we go. In the basement, looking like he's doing some goddamn Black Christmas 1974. I see you, Damian Leone. I see you, bro. So I see him getting all into that.
You survived the most famous serial killer since Jack the Ripper.
Really? And it's been 5 years, y'all, since Terrifier 2, by the way. So Jurassic World's definitely jocking him. No, I'm just playing. But it's been 5 years since that second film.
The 5-year anniversary is coming.
So I don't know. I think they said that Sienna Miller here, Lauren Lavera, is staying with her uncle or aunt or something like that. I can't remember exactly. I'm gonna have to brush up on that. But she's apparently staying with someone else because obviously her spoiler alert for those that maybe haven't seen Terrifier 2 but care about Terrifier 3 for some reason. But spoiler alert, just letting you know. Her mom got fucking shot in the face in Terrifier 2 through a goddamn car window. So there you go. Point blank, by the way. So Art made sure he didn't miss. So you got that going down. So she doesn't have a mom. They're orphaned, and apparently their father passed away too, and supposedly has a weird connection to Art the Clown as well that we were alluding to in the second film. So seeing how that's going to get followed up here is going to be hella interesting. And we do see her brother in a bit too. So we'll get into that when we get into that. But let's keep it moving here.
A lot of people would really like to hear from you after all.
So it seems like somebody's trying to get her to do an interview or a book or something, kind of like the Survivor girl that got really fucked up in Terrifier 1 that popped up in the beginning of Terrifier 2. That is also returning and has some weird connection to Art in this one, Terrifier 3. So let's see where this goes here. Or we're keep it going. I looks like we got this fucked up little tool place here on his boiler room Freddy Krueger shit.
Of that kind of evil. What goes?
Never have sex in horror movies, man. I said this before in the trailer reaction, but I have to say it again here. Learn the rules. Randy told y'all, man. He told y'all in 96.
Close enough to you.
So we got somebody fucking here. And I think it looks kind of like the girl that asked her for the interview. And I think it is. Freaking Art bust, man. Dressed up as Santa, by the way, so keep that in mind. So yeah, he's already dressed up like Santa in that scene. So I think that's going to follow up after something we're going to see here. Looks like she's visiting her brother in maybe a foster home or a school.
How can you be sure it was really him? I could feel it. Who's
There's Art coming in, being a weirdo in the mall or wherever the hell he's at. So I think he murdered the guy that was supposed to be Santa Claus for the kids.
Scaring me too.
And Lauren Lavera, aka Sienna Miller, sees him. He's got some fucked up stuff in there. And this scene right here with him in the tree is not the kids running to him right here. So don't worry, he's not pulling out the axe on him. So I don't think we're going to get quite that brutal. But everyone's worried, is Art going to kill children on screen and mutilate some people? I don't know. If Damian Leone and them have the balls to do it, this might be the edgiest horror film in a long fucking time. Not saying he should, not saying he shouldn't. I'm going to remain neutral. But like I said, it's not the same scene. So I think he's killing somebody else.
Why would he come back here? Even if he was alive, which he isn't.
It looks like he's going to that weird-ass theme park that they were at the end of the climax in Terrifier 2, by the way.
You want to get as far away from here as possible, as far away from you?
Which is where I think Art is still set up at, which is kind of funny.
We both know this isn't over.
There's the chick from the first 2 films there, bashing her head into a goddamn mirror. So Art's attacking again. That chainsaw part is from the sex kill scene, obviously, too. And she's having some weird visions here, like she was in the second film. So I think she's having some more premonitions or dreams or visions or something.
Terrifier.
Nightmare on Elm Street style of this weirdo over here, forging the blade, going crazy. Maybe that's her dad. I don't know. Then you got some crazy like angel imagery, Valkyrie imagery, kind of representing her. I would guess.
Still buried there, isn't it?
Might be the only thing that could stop them.
So there's the weirdo again. But she's talking about she buried the blade, so they got to go back and get it, because that might be the only thing that can stop him. Because that did seem to be the only thing that really was some kind of a weapon that they could use that's Art the Clown's weakness, even though he's still alive and kind of was rebirthed through the weird victim girl that was the victim. I mean, the sister of the girl that got killed, that was the main protagonist of the two main protagonists in Terrifier 1, because both those girls got killed. See, you got that weird shit right there from Terrifier 2. Jericho's back, so I think we're picking up in the movie. This is my theory. I think the movie's going to pick up at that part, the really fucked up post-credit scene with the weird birthing thing with the girl and Art the Clown's head and shit. I think all that crazy shit is going to go down in the beginning of the movie, and then we're going to flash forward 5 years and get into what Sienna's doing and all that, and then catch back up with Art doing fucked up shit as well. See, you got Art and the girl right there, all doing weird shit on a bus or something. So, and it's been said in the like the US Today article or whatever the fuck, which to me was so weird that even Damon Leone and them did an interview with them, with this being such a fucked up slasher franchise. But apparently she's going to be playing a very big role in this, and a much bigger role than she has since the first film, but this in a more sadistic way. So I wonder what the weird mystical connection is here. That's some good Christmas imagery right there. Someone's popping up on her in her sleep, bro. See, he's pulling his fucking Black Christmas 74 on this shit right here. You got the Shining reference right here, which I didn't catch the first couple times I watched it, but I did last time. Yeah, you got the Shining reference there. You got him walking out where he just probably murdered some people. Someone else is getting murdered right there. She's doing some weird shit again, licking a severed limb or something. Jesus. Ugh. And that was the thing that I did not notice who it was, and I had to watch this a few times to make it out, but I couldn't make it out. And then I saw the answer on social media with the more HD image where you can just look at it. This was her friend. I can't remember the character's name right now. I'm gonna pull it up real quick. Give me a second. But this was one of Sienna's friends from the first film, the girl that she was with the guy that had the coke and all that stuff. Let me just pull up the name here just so we can really break this down. Here, hold on, give me a moment. I really like this actress too in the movie. Where's she at? Where's she at? Where's she at? Where's she at? That's not her. Kaylee Hyman is Brooke. That's her. And she got fucked up in the last movie too. So what is this? And where the fuck did she come from? And that looks like the same scene. You know what I'm saying? With freaking Sienna screaming and shit. Fucking with Jericho again. There's the homegirl from the first film again. So she looks like she's gonna be killing motherfuckers in this. So she's just adding to the body count in this point. He's doing his fucked up snow angels over here. Title drop.
Looking
So
forward
much
to
in
the
this trailer,
best
man.
Christmas ever. Filled
Oh, it's so fucked
with
up.
fun,
What has he got in
smiles,
there?
and laughter.
Oh, he got that bag, man. Damn. Tossing freaking Sienna around. Yeah, it's coming early October 11th for us horror fans. Yeah, baby. So that's it. But yeah, man, there's some juicy details in there. And there's some really interesting hints and things that they could be really adding up to, like fleshing out the lore of Art the Clown. What answers are they going to give us? Are they going to raise more questions than answers and not answer anything at all? There's so many different directions they could take this thing. Because like I said, Brooke coming back as a corpse, like the other girl, is she going to be helping with the killings? Can he resurrect his victims? Like, in general, but just only does it sometimes to fuck with people mentally? Like, whoa, like that's a crazy thing. And we didn't see the little girl at all in any of the teaser trailer or this trailer. So what happened to the little clown girl? Where's she at? That's my question. Like, where does that tie in? How are they connected? What is that? And who's the weirdo in the mask forging the sword from what it looks like? Like, there's so many interesting things that they set up in this trailer without giving you much answers at all, except for little tiny details you can kind of make out in there, where he obviously kills somebody and gets that Santa suit, goes to that house at some point and kills some more people. And then he ends up going to the mall where I think he runs in, or wherever he's at, and runs into Sienna after he's already accumulated a bit of a body count with the crazy girl from the freaking asylum that was one of the previous victims, where she got her face fucked up orangutan style by Art the Clown eating it. Fucking weird, man. Some of the things you have to say to describe this stuff, I swear, man. But yeah, so there's so many crazy details. Y'all let me know if you noticed anything in this Terrifier 3 trailer that I didn't notice, and any of your speculation and rumors you have going into Terrifier 3. I was just discussing this with someone else on my Terrifier 3 trailer reaction in the comments. I'm so hyped for this movie. It's my most anticipated horror movie of the year, all year long, and is one of my most anticipated releases in general in the world of pop culture for this year of 2024. So I can't wait to see what happens with it. I love this franchise. Met many of the people behind it, and they're awesome people. So I'm always supporting anything that they do. And I'll be out there opening weekend. Hopefully, we get to see it twice, to get out there and get that big spoiler review and break it all down and have a fun discussion with all of you guys out there. And you showed so much love for my previous Terrifier 2 spoiler review a couple years ago when it dropped. So make sure y'all come out again and show us some love. But that's pretty much it for What's the Word. We got into all those topics. So let me know which ones stood out the most to you and what you think about all that stuff. And if there's any big news topics that I missed, let me know so maybe I can cover it on the next video. And if you have any suggestions for topics we can do for What's the Word, drop it in the comments below. Even for this next week coming up for episode 3, drop your suggestions in this video. Or you can hit me up directly on social media at fandom_frequency. Follow me and hit me up over there and let me know what you want to see on this show. If you're digging it, share it with your friends and fam, like everything else we got going on here. Click those buttons below the video and show that love and support for the channel, and get this out there to the algorithm so they can push this out to all you fellow nerds out there. And we can keep growing this awesome community that's growing slowly but surely every single day and every single week. I appreciate each of y'all that stayed to the very end to watch all of this dopeness. And if you appreciate what we do, we appreciate you, and it's all love, baby. So until What's the Word episode 3 and all the other cool stuff we got coming up, like Beetlejuice, and all that good jazz, make sure you stay tuned, don't sleep, and stay safe out there, y'all. Peace.